All right, today we are cracking open one of the most game-changing books ever written, Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Our mission? To boil down all that incredible wisdom into a super fast guide you can use to turn your own personal chaos into some serious clarity. So, let's dive right in.
Does this hit a little too close to home? You know the feeling. You wake up, the to-do list is already staring you down, and you spend the entire day just running, rushing from task to task, putting out fires, and at the end of it all, you're just exhausted. And you're left wondering, what did I actually do today? That, my friends, is what Covey calls the activity trap, and he's basically handed us the escape plan.
In this quote, this is the key that unlocks absolutely everything. It gets right to the core of what it means to be free. See, it's not about the stuff that happens to us. That's the stimulus. It's about that little gap, that tiny pause. That's where our real power is. That's the space where we get to choose our response. And that choice is the starting line for becoming effective.
Now, Covey organized this so brilliantly. He breaks it down into 2 major wins. The first 3 habits, they're all about what he calls the private victory. This is the inside job. It's about mastering yourself first. Because let's be real, you can't lead anyone else or even work well with them until you've won the battle inside your own head.
Okay, habit 1, be proactive. Think about it. So many of us live like we're just passengers in our own lives. We blame the traffic, the crummy weather, our annoying boss, whatever. But truly effective people, they know without a doubt that they are in the driver's seat. Being proactive just means you stop pointing fingers and you start asking, okay, what can I do about this? You're the one holding the steering wheel.
And what's wild is you can actually hear the difference. Just listen to how people talk. It reveals their whole mindset. Reactive language is all about giving away your power. Proactive language, though, that's the language of choice, of possibility. It's amazing how just tweaking your words can start to completely change your outlook.
So here's the bottom line. Where are you focusing your energy? We all have a huge circle of concern. You know, the global economy, politics, what other people think, stuff we can't really control. But we also have a circle of influence. That's your turf. That's your attitude, your work ethic, your choices. Effective people pour their energy there. And you know what happens? That circle starts to get bigger. On to habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. This is all about becoming the architect of your own life. I mean, you wouldn't build a house without a blueprint, right? You'd end up with a mess. Well, your life is a heck of a lot more important than a house. You need a blueprint that's based on what truly, deeply matters to you.
And this metaphor just says it all, doesn't it? It's the ultimate tragedy. You can spend years, decades even, hustling and climbing that ladder of success. You finally get to the top, you're exhausted, you look around, and you realize with a sinking feeling, it was leaning against the completely wrong wall the entire time. This habit makes you stop and ask, is this the right wall for me?
Which leads us right into habit 3, where the rubber meets the road. Put first things first. You've probably heard of the big rocks analogy. It's so simple but so profound. If you take an empty jar and put your big priorities in first, your health, your family, your most important projects, all the smaller stuff, the little pebbles and sand, they just fill in the cracks. But if you fill the jar with sand first, good luck trying to fit those big rocks in.
Okay, so once you've done that tough inner work and achieved the private victory, you're ready to level up. You're ready for the public victory. This is where we shift from mastering ourselves to working magic with other people. It's all about moving from being independent to being truly interdependent.
Habit 4, think win-win, is a complete mindset overhaul. So many of us are wired to think with a scarcity mentality, right? The idea that there's only one pie, and if you get a big slice, that means less for me. But a win-win mindset, an abundance mentality says, wait a minute, what if we could just work together to bake a bigger pie? Success isn't a competition, it's a creation.
And if you think about it, any other way just falls apart. Win-lose creates rivals. Lose-win makes you a doormat. And lose-lose, well, that's just a train wreck for everyone. Win-win is the only real sustainable way to build trust and create relationships that last. It's about finding that path where everybody walks away feeling good about the outcome.
Now this might just be the most powerful communication skill on the planet. Most of us, when we listen, we're not really listening. We're just reloading, waiting for our turn to talk. But highly effective people do something different. They practice empathetic listening. They shut up and try to genuinely see the world through the other person's eyes.
And that is the secret sauce. When someone feels truly heard, truly understood, it's like you've given them oxygen. A massive wall of trust just goes up.
And only then, after they feel that connection, are they actually open to hearing what you have to say. Understanding is the key that unlocks real influence.
And that flows perfectly into habit 6, Synergize. Think about it. One violin sounds pretty, but an entire symphony orchestra? That's breathtaking. That's synergy. It's the magic that happens when we don't just put up with our differences, but we actually seek them out and combine them to create something totally new, something none of us could have ever made on our own.
This is exactly what it is. Synergy is 1 + 1 = 3, or 10, or 100. It's not about my way or your way. It's about us coming together to create a third way that's better than anything we could have imagined alone. It's not about compromise where everyone gives something up. It's about creation, where everyone wins something bigger.
So, we've nailed the private victory. We've mastered the public victory. Awesome. But how in the world do you keep it all going? How do you keep the engine running without burning out? Well, that brings us to the final and maybe the most essential habit of all.
Habit 7. Sharpen the saw. The analogy is perfect. Imagine a woodcutter, sweating, sawing away at a tree, getting absolutely nowhere. Someone comes along and says, "Hey, why don't you take a break and sharpen your saw?" And the woodcutter replies, "I can't, I'm too busy sawing." We laugh, but we do this all the time. We think rest is a luxury, but it's the very thing that keeps us sharp. And this isn't just about getting more sleep. It's about balanced renewal across 4 key areas of your life. You got to take care of your body, exercise, nutrition, your mind, keep learning, reading, your heart, nurture those important relationships, and your soul through reflection, meditation, whatever connects you to your purpose. If one of these areas goes flat, the whole system suffers.
So there you have it, an incredibly powerful roadmap that takes you from being dependent on others to being strong and independent to finally reaching that highest level of effective interdependence. Let's do one final, super quick recap.
Here they are. The private victory. Be proactive. Begin with the end in mind. Put first things first. Then the public victory. Think win-win. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. And synergize. And the habit that keeps it all going, sharpen the saw.
Look, being effective isn't some magical gift you're born with. It's about the small choices you make every single day, choices that compound over time to build a life of real meaning and impact. So the question isn't whether these habits work. The only question that matters is, which one will you put into practice, starting right now?